All right, welcome to the Lenny Springer Show. All right, Legend Springs. All right, this is week 2. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm setting you up for our first project that we have to do. All right, now you can have like a different type of pen for this one. You will need a pencil as well. I don't really like mechanical pencils for it, but I'll show you how to use it. But a regular pencil works a little better because it's not as pointed. You can have, you want this kind, which is just like a ballpoint pen. That works okay. If you have one of these, which is like a little bit more of like a gel pen, not a big fan of gel pens, but if that's all you have, that's okay. Of course, I like these ones, the little felt tip pens and things like that. So, and like I said, here's just different ballpoint pens. You can use any one of those. They kind of all form a different line. Like this one here has that thickness of a line. If I'm using this, it is nicer to have that fine point line. Similar kind of pen. Okay, this one's about the same as this one. If I used like a ballpoint pen, I'm okay. Just sometimes it just doesn't draw as smooth as some other ones. All right, looks like my marker's almost out, but we're gonna see how well it works. All right, so we're gonna learn, oh, good handwriting, Zentangles today. So, what does Zen mean? Oh, it means like peaceful, calmness, that kind of thing. Tangle for us today is going to represent the word pattern, okay? All right. Now, usually when you do a Zentangle, you try to pick a nicer paper, and also you're doing it in pen, not pencil, because you don't want it to, you don't really change it because there's no real mistakes with Zentangles. All right, so what I'm going to start off with is I'm going to make my frame, as we call it. So I'm going to make 4 dots on my paper. You can see about how far I spread them out. They could be further. It's just kind of up to you. But for time-wise today, I'm going to make it a little smaller. All right, now we're going to finish creating our frame by creating lines. Now, this frame, I could have a straight line if I want. I could have a loop if I really wanted to. I wouldn't get too wiggly though, but I do like a nice wave to my line. I think it looks nice. All right, now that you have that, what we need to do is we need to make our stringer. So our stringer, I'm going to start in this corner, and I'm just going to make kind of a wavy line over here, come back over here, and down to this corner. Now I know some of you have like, oh, we've already done this, Mr. Gephardt. Well, some of the students have, some of them haven't, but I need everyone to know this. Okay, we're gonna do a different Zentangle in each one of these. So for the first one, you can pick any one of your triangles, okay? The stringer separates the different areas. So the first one I want us to do is I want us to do a crescent, okay? So a crescent is just a curved line, kind of like a crescent moon. Then we're gonna keep doing that as I go across my stringer. I like them to be about the same size, but they don't have to be exactly. Now I hit a corner, so I'm gonna go around. I know it's starting to look like an alligator mouth. I'm not really picking up my pen too much. Now mine touched over here, that's okay, but I can't cross over another line. Not with this pattern. Some patterns you can. All right, now start anywhere. I'm gonna start up in here in this high point. And what I want you to do is I want you to make another layer of crescents. See, I'm kind of going right down the seam. Now, it's okay if you like to turn your paper because you might be better at it doing one way versus another. I always encourage, especially when you're doing curves, to figure out, okay, so I ran into this one right there. I'm going to just stop it right there and just kind of leave that one. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go with the next one. So here we come with another layer. So here we go. If I would have gone this way, let me show you what might happen. I ran into one. So I'm just going to come out the other side. Sixth graders, it's kind of like when we did our blobs. Okay, again, I like to turn my paper. Where was I? Oh, right here. Oh, getting close to ending on that one. All right, so repeat those steps until you have completely filled in. All right, so this guy would. No, I don't say I'm a Zentangle expert or things like that. You can get specially trained in teaching Zentangles and the theory behind it. Because it did start from this gal, I think she lives in Maine. And her husband noticed she was doodling one day and kept making cool patterns. He suggested that she maybe start creating steps to make those patterns. So that's where she started doing a lot of this. Oh, it's getting tight in this little corner here. Some of these might be ending. All right, I think I'm gonna stop there. Okay, so that one's called Crescent. So now the gal's husband, as she started, really building this whole system and process and, laying out stuff that we already do, he came up with his own. Now, this one is called Holly Bow. Now, Holly Bow, what I want you to do is pick any triangle. I'm just going to start with this one since it's right next to it. I'm going to do 2 parallel lines. I know, math terms. Oh no. Then what you're going to do is you're going to make another set of parallel lines, but they're going to go behind this one. And as long as they're pretty straight, they don't have to be perfectly straight. Now, if you notice, I made this one a little skinnier. I could have made it wider, could have made it skinnier. So what I want you to do is we don't need to fill in the whole area, but I'm going to make another set of lines here, maybe another set here. And I'm gonna make some other ones go behind some of them, kind of like an X. Oh, I think I need another one here. I do like when they go behind, so like I can make another one go behind this one. That went behind the other one. Maybe I'll make a longer one that'll go behind all of these. Make them a little wider. All right, but you can make them go in all different directions. So let's say I did one way over here. And this one maybe went more straight down. I think I need one more going across. Just trying to fill up my spaces a little bit so I don't have a lot of big gaps. Okay. All right. So it kind of looks like sticks laying on top of each other. So the next part, what I want you to do is we're going to do some filler. So the first filler we're going to learn is called bubbles. And bubbles is just a bunch of circles. Little ones, medium ones, bigger ones. Oops, trying not to cross over. Again, there's no real mistakes. If I wanted to, I could even do crescents in some for some fillers. You do. Looks like I'm kind of running out of room. So we could kind of go through and add all kinds of fillers. I do like bubbles, kind of a fun one. All right, for the video's sake, I'm gonna stop doing my filler, but I would go ahead and fill all of these. I mean, you could have some, I don't know if I maybe do a curved line, kind of like a crescent, if I wanted to. Kind of matches our crescent one over there though. So I don't know if I'd use that one or not, but it's okay. So, all right, so that's number 2. And there are hundreds of Zentangles. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next spot. Okay, the next one, and just for fun, I think I'm gonna move down to this spot. This one's called Knight's Bridge. So, Knight's Bridge, I'm gonna do kind of I like to add a little bit of a wave to it. You can do it in a straight line, not a perfectly straight line, but a straight curved line. But I'm gonna add a little bit of a wave to it. So, then I'm gonna match that line. Do you see how I perfectly matched that line? And I like to space them. So see how they're all spaced the same width? That's what I'm trying to do. So I can't go through that little loop. Okay, I'll keep going. Just keep swimming. All right. Now that I have my first layer done, I'm gonna move into my second layer. So my second layer, I'm gonna do the same thing, but I wanna make them perpendicular. So I'm gonna do another kind of wavy line. And I want to have them spaced about just as far. So if I thought about how big my squares ended up being, they're about as big as my pinky nail. I don't like them to be too much bigger. Okay, here's the filler I want you. Yes, I could color these in and be like a checkerboard. That's one way. So another type, that sometimes finishes off. But what I want to do this time is I want to go ahead and I'm going to do swirls. So what I want you to do is just go into each one. Take your time, try not to go outside your lines. This one here, I'm gonna have to pretend like it kind of got cut off. So it's a little bit different the way I did that swirl, but it's still, we know a swirl is there. So just go through, I'm gonna start going a little faster. All right, I'm almost done. Oops, I need to go a little bigger with this one. All right, little one here. I think I have some lines here. Okay. All right, oops, a few more here. Okay. I did leave that little loop open. If I wanted to, I could fill it with bubbles or something. So I'll just do that for fun. All right, so that is Knight's Bridge. Okay, the next one, oh, I want to say it's called Cubism, but I can't remember exactly. All right, this one, I do want straight lines. So, and I don't care if you put them straight up and down or at an angle. I like it, since all my other stuff is at a little bit of an angle, I'm gonna go ahead and put these ones at an angle. So I'm gonna make mine. And again, I want them about a fingernail's width apart. Now we don't use rulers. This is all freehand. Because remember, it's okay if you make mistakes. All right, I do like to turn my paper sometimes, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it this way, just so I can draw a straight line, because I do a better straight line if I'm drawing from top to bottom. All right, so I do want these to be perpendicular. I do have a little bit of an angle, because my other lines were at an angle. I don't know if we'd probably see, yeah, we'd probably see a little bit of one here. Okay. All right, so you see where I have that. Now what I want you to do is in each of the cubes, I'm about halfway between the lines, so I'm gonna go up halfway, over to the halfway point. And you can go ahead and fill it in. Up halfway, over halfway, fill it in. Okay, up halfway, over halfway. This one's a little harder to tell, but as long as you're making them all the same size, you're fine. This one's going to fill in that whole spot. And I would take my time and fill them all in perfectly. But also try not to make this video an hour long. All right, I would color the rest in. Well, maybe I'll just go ahead and do it. It'll just take me a second. This is a little bit of spaghetti coloring that I teach my kindergartners not to do. Okay, last step to make this one. Oops, almost forgot one. Okay, and I know I kind of maybe would have a little one over here. Okay, going from the top left corner of my little black box, I'm gonna put my pen here, and I'm gonna go to this corner of this box. So I'm gonna go top left corner, up to the top left corner. Top left corner. I'm going to do that on all of them. And you'll see it starts to form kind of like a waffle. Okay. Oh, I would have a little black box right here. Okay. Oh, missed one over here. I know there's a little one coming from there and there. And probably here. Color that guy in. Okay, now we're done with the pen. Yes, I would fill all those fillers in and things like that. Now, when you do your shading, I'm gonna use a pencil just to show you a little just different ways. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could use one of these. That's fine, okay? All right, so some ways I can shade these if I wanted to is I could, 6th grade, we know this. We could shade it so it starts out dark on one side and it kind of fades in, okay? There's some other tools that we can use to help blend them, like a tortillon and things like that. But we're just kind of getting started today. Same with this stuff. If I wanted to, like maybe I'm gonna shade a little bit underneath this one to make him look like he kind of gave him a little bit of a shadow. Maybe this guy, or I could always just kind of shade in the whole thing. So maybe this guy underneath here. I like when that white is right next to that gray. So I can kind of do some different shading like that across all of these things. Like this guy going under here. I think this looks nice. There's different ways to shade it. You can shade it however you want. It's just some nice ways. If I wanted to, maybe I would color in, if I had any in between my bubbles or my crescents, I could kind of color my crescents like that one. With my boxes, I could maybe do it 2 different ways. If I wanted to, since this is the dark side of it, I could shade it as it comes up. That's one way. Or if I wanted to, maybe I'm gonna kind of shade one side of it and let the light hit the other side. So if I wanted to do that, I could do something like that. So I just shade half of it. Kind of makes it stand out a little bit more. Other times, if I wanted to make the whole shape look a certain way, this is where a mechanical pencil isn't very good. Maybe I'm gonna shade in the whole Zentangle, and I'm gonna kind of come in a little bit of a so see, I'm going over the whole, so I'm probably start dark here. Because what I'm trying to do is, like, you know, when you start out dark and you kind of fade out lighter and lighter. So I'm just pressing, and usually what happens is I squeeze the pencil less. Now, you do see some artists take it and they smear it with their finger, but your fingers have oils in them. So typically I might take like a paper towel or a napkin or a little special blending tool called a tortillon. All right, so that's it for today's lesson.